Gentleman's game here. You know, one thing I've realized as I've gotten more experience with women is that anyone can learn game. If you think that being some smooth James Bond character is the only way to get good with the ladies, I'm here to tell you you're absolutely wrong. Almost any personality can be spun and presented in a way that'll get you results with women. You just need to know how to present yourself in that way to magnetically attract the types of girl you want. So how do you do it? How can any plain old average Joe get with quality women just by being himself? Well, I'll elaborate on that answer with a story. So I have two friends, one named Marvin and the other named Andrew, both with completely opposite personalities, opposite life goals, and opposite kinds of game in terms of how they flirt with girls. See, Marvin is much more of an intellectual type. He's into poetry, philosophy, literature, things like that. He's a vegetarian who enjoys spending his time reading 19th century French literature and writing while traveling on the road. He doesn't really care about making money or getting rich. He only wants to live life present in the moment and to stimulate his mind. Marvin is definitely more of a type B personality and goes with the flow instead of feeling the need to accomplish all his tasks for the day. In fact, he's jokingly told me that maybe he was a communist in his past life because of how much he hates the idea of the rat race of working a 9-to-5 job with a stable income. Now Andrew, on the other hand, is the complete opposite. He's a hustler through and through. He's a successful business owner and investor, a millionaire by the age of 27. He's big into gaming, partying, crypto, coming up with new entrepreneurial ideas, etc. Andrew is definitely a classic type A personality. He aggressively sets his goals and stops at nearly nothing until he accomplishes them. And of course, because Marvin and Andrew have such different personalities, their game, or the way they flirt with girls, is completely different. I know this because I witnessed it firsthand myself. Marvin, being the intellectual, takes his time a lot more with girls. He's much more observant. He asks questions to get in the psyche of the girl he's talking to so he can better relate to her. He'll rattle on about some vague, philosophical, or artistic concept to a girl, and when he sees that she's hooked by his passion, he'll escalate physically on her and start touching her more romantically and sexually. Andrew, being the assertive businessman on the other hand, is very sexually straightforward, but in an over-the-top playful way. He's super bold with girls. He'll do things like spin them around or make random games for them to play together on the spot. He'll tease girls aggressively. He'll tell her all these crazy stories of things he's done or places he's been to. Her emotions will be all spiked, and before she knows it, they'll be kissing on the dance floor. Basically, Marvin likes to get inside a girl's head and slowly seduce her using his intellect, whereas Andrew is much more direct, much more bold and over the top in his assertiveness and playfulness. And the thing is, even though they both have such different kinds of game, they both have no problems meeting and attracting girls. In fact, both Andrew and Marvin are some of the most confident guys I know around women, and they both have some of the most effective game I've seen. They've both had successful relationships with cute, attractive girls, they've played the field and dated around, and they both have lots of experience in meeting and attracting high-value women. See, the more I hung out with them, the more I realized there's a million different ways to attract girls by just being yourself. These two dudes had such different personalities and styles of game from my own, yet both still managed to make it work. You see, what you need to make your personality work for you in getting the types of girl you want is simply self-awareness. Recognize your own blueprint. What kind of guy are you? Are you more assertive and laid back? Are you more active and outdoorsy? Do you speak your thoughts out loud, or are you more introspective? What kind of passions do you have? Whatever your blueprint is, the archetype, own it and accentuate it. You see, by doing that, you polarize the girls around you. Some of them won't be into you, but the ones who are intrigued and attracted to your personality, your blueprint, are gonna love you. Because there's nothing more attractive than a guy who who's utterly content and confident in his own skin, even with all his quirks. For example, let's say you're a more introverted guy. You spend your time gaming and practicing music production. Well, don't hide that when you're around girls. Own it. Tease her about her singing on one of your beats. Talk to her about the emotions you feel when you're in the zone playing games. If you're using online dating apps, you can reference those interests too in your bio. For example, Marvin has, "If you like sweet cuddles, then shoot, INTP, vegetarian, author," in his Tinder bio. And guess what? He got 80 matches within 10 days. Because like I just mentioned, he was able to polarize the girls online so that only the ones who really liked his profile would match with him. When you accentuate your blueprint like this, it filters out the girls that wouldn't be a good fit anyways and saves you a lot of time. And it filters for the ones who not only click with your blueprint, but love it. You see, the thing you have to realize is that once you recognize your blueprint, the qualities that make you unique, you have to embrace it. You have to be completely unapologetic about it. That's the one common quality that I noticed in Marvin, Andrew, and even myself. Even though we all have different personalities and styles of communication with women, we're completely okay with it. See, the more confident you are in yourself, the more unapologetic about who you are, the more effective you'll be at accentuating your blueprint in a way that makes girls go crazy for you. And that's the thing I notice in so many guys too. They'll be genuinely interesting people with their own passions and unique way of relating to people and with girls, but instead of embracing who they are, instead of being unapologetic in their personality and figuring out a way to flirt with women in a way that seems authentic, they shy away. They feel like they're being awkward, they feel like everyone's judging them, and so they stifle themselves. They feel that anxiety that comes when you try to put on an act to fit in rather than being who you are with no reservation. See, that's the biggest thing I want you to take away from this video. Whoever you are, whatever your personality or blueprint is, or however you like to relate to people, embrace it. Don't shy away from it. In fact, do you even know what your blueprint is? Self-awareness is key. You won't be able to accentuate the attractive parts of yourself to attract girls if you don't even know what they are. So if you're sitting here watching this video and have no clue what your strength is, you need to reflect on who you are and what style of game suits you best. And once you do get that sense of self-awareness, you'll want to slowly practice expressing yourself to develop thick skin no matter what kind of social feedback you get. Over time, you'll start to stop caring what people think of you. You'll be able to just be yourself and be okay with whatever happens. You'll be able to operate with a sense of freedom, the freedom to be yourself. There's a saying that confidence isn't "she'll like me." Confidence is "I'll be fine if she doesn't." If you can tap into this mindset, you'll exude an unbridled confidence by just being yourself, something that'll make you irresistible to girls. One last caveat that I want to add is that accentuating your blueprint to attract girls who fit you mostly applies to men who have purpose, who are high value, meaning that two guys who are both high value with very different personalities, blueprints, methods of seducing women can use this tactic to their advantage. However, if you're a genuinely low value guy, if you spend your time watching porn and judging other people, shower like once a month, well then it won't really matter how much you accentuate your blueprint, you'll still struggle with dating. That's why I preach things like being a high value man before worrying about the more technical aspects of game. The key is to get to a baseline level of attractiveness and value, then being comfortable in your own skin so that you can convey yourself authentically to attract the women that are good for you. Once you understand that, as well as the principles we talked about earlier in this video, well then you're on your way to becoming your own version of a stud. So that's it for the video. Today we talked about how anyone can attract women by just being themselves, which is really just to accentuate their own blueprint, to not be ashamed of who they are, to own their identity to get the girls who like them for who they actually are. As always guys, if you want my free 5-page PDF on the fundamentals of attraction, check out the link in the description box below, and make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, cause I got an absolute banger coming out next week. Peace.